Welcome back, all you beautiful souls, to another SRT video. And so today we're going to discuss, or I wanted to touch base a little bit more on, again, the belief systems. And I wanted to share a personal story with a personal client, just to give you guys an idea of how intricately tied together the beliefs are with the emotional and the physical responses that are generated in the body. And so I'll start my story by sharing that this woman came to me about a year and a half ago from when I'm filming this. So this woman came to me, she was referred, she found me through her trainer at the time and had done a lot of research online, and she's very spiritual. So she's a really big yogi. She practices all the time, and she was looking into helping her stiffness, her flexibility. And so even though doing yoga was helpful for her and she could do a lot of these poses, there was a lot of basic things that she couldn't do, and there was a lot of things that she was struggling with. And so we had our initial meeting, and I could feel from the energy, just the angst, the timidness, and the wall. And I call it the wall because if you're a worker, if you're an energy worker, a healer, a light worker, a body worker, and you're in tune to feeling energy or to feeling somebody's aura, then you know what this wall feels like. It's almost like this, it's a protective barrier that people will put up. Their energetic being will protect themselves, and it's usually an unconscious barrier that's put in place, but it's to protect because there's been trauma, there's been damage, they've been hurt in the past, emotionally, mentally, physically. And so I could feel this wall, and as we started to work with each other, it was very physical in the beginning. It was much more about trying to open her body up and become more flexible for her main goals of yoga and just feeling unstiff. And so what happened was, the more that we dived into the physical work, the more I began to understand and have these conversations with her that would lead me into understanding more of how she views herself, how she views her life, how she views her reality, right? So our beliefs and our perspective is what forms our reality. And so the reality that she was living in at that time seemed very troubled. It seemed very dark. It seemed very lonely. And now when you see that, or you feel that, because we discussed emotions and feelings as well, when you feel lonely, when you feel depressed or sad or isolated, those emotions manifest themselves physically. It's an energy transference. So that energy from your energetic feeling space, that causal body or that emotional body, astral body, is manifesting itself into this three-dimensional physical form. Imagine water turning to ice, liquid solidifying into this hard form. So we have those feelings that solidify themselves into a physical manifestation. And so what happened is I began to feel and understand that she's lived or has been programmed with these beliefs, which has kept her in a victim mentality. So she has these certain limiting beliefs, and this is the parameter that she's allowing herself to truly live. Now that doesn't mean that there's not all of this other space, but she has these limiting beliefs that she's trapped herself and contained herself in here based on how she views herself and based on how she thinks and based on what she believes. And she believes what other people have told her or programmed her to think, and to believe. And so this is what becomes very important when we discuss belief systems and when we discuss true healing, as we look into the depths of the issue that they may be coming to us for: tight neck, back pain, chronic headaches, hip problems, low back. That's the tree. I've used this terminology, this analogy before. That's the tree. That's what we can physically see, but we have to dive below. What do the roots look like? Are the roots rotten? Are they weak? Are they so intertwined and mangled, and they're pulling on other things underneath the ground that we can't see, that the beliefs that have been programmed inside of us are so attached to other people's beliefs, to other toxic, negative, lower vibrational energy, to other low vibrational beliefs. And that's slowly seeping into what we think of ourselves, into what we believe our reality. And so we're not letting ourselves actually live in the reality that we choose to create, but what we're doing is we're allowing other beliefs from other people to create our reality, and they're telling us that we have to live here. And so that's what was happening with my client. And I started to understand this, and I started to really dive into this a little bit more with her and try to get her to understand why she viewed herself the way she did, and answer the questions truthfully, because we have to be true to our inner selves, but truthfully, why and where these things and these thoughts and beliefs were coming from. Now, a lot of them stemmed from some of her parents, and a lot of them stemmed from some of one of her exes. And you realize that her physical body was in a direct correlation to these thoughts and these beliefs and limiting process that was running her programming. And so she's one of the most interesting cases that I've ever worked with, and this is what's really helped kind of steer the direction of where we took SRT and why we're taking it to where we are. And that is because it is so imperative. When we would make progress and shift her belief, well, then her physical symptoms started to dissipate, and they were like that quickly. So I wanted to just share that because it's so very imperative that we look at the belief system in conjunction with physical issues that are going on with the body, and we'll understand their personal, individual experiences that have led them to this point. So thanks for watching, guys. Again, please, as always, like these videos, share them, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you in another video.